Hello and welcome to my channel Zucker Cooks. I'm Adela. Today I'm going to make fermented jalapenos and chili, Serrano chilies. We like our food spicy, and I ran out of these jalapenos that I usually have in the fridge. And I thought I'll record and show you how I make my own fermented jalapenos. So I have here a bunch of jalapenos. You can make as many as you like. And Serrano chilies. And we're gonna need some water for the brine and salt. And for the fermentation, it is recommended to use sea salt or real salt, not the iodized salt, because it won't work. So just the most real salt that you can find or that you have, but sea salt is also good. So let's go ahead and let's get this started. I thoroughly washed the jalapenos and the Serrano chilies, and now I'm gonna slice them. And first I'm gonna cut off the top, and then I'm gonna slice them to our liking, which is about this thickness. You can slice them thicker or thinner, just preference. And one thing I learned over the time about jalapenos is, because some of them are spicy, others are not, and it's always like a mystery which one is going to be spicy and which one is not. But I've learned that the ones that have those lines that look like they're gonna burst, those are supposed to be the hottest. So I haven't tested it theory yet, but I will. I've seen them in the past, but I just tend not to pick those because they just looked ugly. But if that's the case, I'll definitely want to pick those from now on. All right, so I'm slicing all of the jalapenos, and in the meantime, I've sterilized my canning jars, and I want to make sure that I have a clean fermentation, that we don't contaminate the fermentation. And I put them, first I washed them with soapy warm water. I dried them, and then I put them in a 350-degree oven, which for my European people, it's 180 Celsius for 20 minutes. And that should be long enough to sterilize the jars. And now they're cooling down. And I've also made my brine, which is just basically water and salt. I warmed up the water so that the salt can dissolve easily, but it doesn't have to be warm. And if you've made fermentation before and you have some still in your fridge, you can also add some to this new batch, some of your previous fermented liquid, and that just gives it a little boost in the fermentation process. So that's just another tip. So I'm gonna finish slicing all these jalapenos and Serrano chilies, and then we'll go from there. So here is the bowl with all the jalapenos that I ended up all sliced, and these are the Serrano chilies. And here are my jars that I've sterilized. So now all I'm gonna do is fill them, and let's see how many I get in. And I'm gonna alternate with some of the Serrano chilies. More jalapenos. More Serrano. Now this is gonna be spicy, but that's how we like it. All right, something like this. And I'm gonna fill the other one. So at this point, what I do is I fill it with the brine that I've made previously. And then we need to make sure that the jalapenos are submerged in the brine. So I have these glass weights that I got from Amazon, and then just push it down, and there we have them all submerged. So now I'm gonna do the same thing with this jar, and then I'll be back. So here I have my jars filled with jalapenos, and this one has the Serrano chilies. I only wanted to make one with the Serrano chilies. This one is solely jalapenos. So now I'm going to put the lid on and the ring, and I'm gonna tighten it loosely because I still want the gases to come out once it starts fermenting, and I didn't want it to burst. So make sure that all the jalapenos are submerged, that you don't have anything sitting above the brine, and you should be good. Now I'm gonna put this in a warm place. It can stay on the countertop if you want to. I prefer my proof box that I use for baking and proofing. Not baking, but when I bake, I use it for my doughs to proof, and it's out of the way, and it's in a nice enclosed warm environment. I'm gonna leave it there for 5 days, 3 to 5 days, and you can leave it fermenting to the point that you prefer. If you want them to be more sour, leave them longer. If you want them less sour, leave them less. But it's recommended 3 to 5 days. You can go longer. I'm shooting for probably on day 3. I'm gonna taste one and see if I like it, and then that will determine if I'm gonna leave it longer or not. Then at that point, you put them in the fridge, and it's gonna slow down the fermentation. You can leave them there for a long time, and by long time I mean probably 8 months or so, 6 to 8 months, but usually it doesn't last that long in my house. So yeah, and then once all the jalapenos are gone and you make another batch, just use some of this fermentation brine for your new batch, and that just gives it a little little boost with the fermentation. And yeah, and maybe even the flavors, if you had different flavors in the previous one, just add a little bit. And this is not something that you just make with jalapenos and Serrano chilies. You can add onions, you can add garlic, sweet peppers, red onions, white onions. I mean, you can add anything, but this is how we like it. So I'll probably be making some other flavors because I still have a lot of jalapenos left over, so I'll probably make some additional jars, although these I'm gonna try some in a pickling brine instead, and those just go straight in the fridge. It's been about 5 days. It's been fermenting in my proof box, and I went ahead and consolidated them into this bigger jar instead of having 3 small ones. I prefer this one to keep in the fridge now, and I tasted it, and those Serrano chilies were a little spicier than expected, but it'll be good. They already taste the way I like them. They have a little crunch to it still, and to me this is a perfect way that I like the jalapenos. So I'm gonna put this lid back on, and it's gonna continue fermenting in the fridge, but at a slower rate, and the lid is gonna allow it to burp by itself, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm just gonna use them when I want something crunchy and spicy, like in my spaghettis, lasagna, nachos, a number of things that we enjoy, these spicy nachos. And the best thing of all this, you control the salt, so it's not too salty. I find the jars that you buy from the store are extremely salty, and that really, I don't appreciate that, don't like them. So I hope you like this video. Give it a try. It's very easy and it's delicious. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can see my next video. Thank you for watching. Catch you later.